In the Rialto Unified School District, part of our mission states that we will have high expectations for student achievement. Today on the Bridge Podcast, we welcome one of the outstanding scholars of class of 2023. We welcome David Luviano, Carter High School senior, headed to Brown University on a full ride scholarship, along with Dr. Robin McMillon, Carter High School principal, and Mr. Clark Wilson, exceptional Carter High School counselor, to the Bridge Podcast. Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Oh my gosh. So David Luviano, first of all, how does it feel to head to an Ivy League school, Brown University, on a full ride scholarship?
I mean, what can I say? It feels really good. It's always great knowing that your hard work has paid off. But it's also great knowing that, it's such a stressful thing for many students to consider that financial burden that comes along with attending college. Mm-hmm. But, I'm going to completely take that away from my parents, and that's really nice to know.
Now, what's your parents' names?
My mother's name is Rosa Trejo, and my father's name is George Luviano.
Do you have other siblings in the Rialto Unified School District?
Yes. I actually had a graduate from Carter High School. His name was Robert Luviano. And I have a little sister who is now a freshman at Carter High School. Her name is Ashley Luviano.
And absolutely no pressure, right? You're the middle school child, right?
Yes.
I'm the middle school child. We rule, kind of, sometimes. Yeah. So tell me, Mr. Wilson, what kind of a student is David?
Oh, David's great. Yeah, so I mean, he's part of our Alpha Scholars program at Carter, and he's been there since he was a freshman, and even as a freshman, he was looking to fit as many honors and AP classes into his schedule as humanly possible, maybe even beyond humanly possible, and then constantly looking for opportunities to do more. So he's always been a heavy achiever and has known that he wanted to do well from day one.
So Dr. McMillon, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Of course. And I know that there's so many wonderful things happening at Carter High School. We have students like David. When I walk into Mr. Taylor's ceramics classroom, you see all this innovative and magic happen with beautiful sculptures. And then when you walk into an English classroom, you walk into the math classroom. And how does Carter High School continue to have such, I guess, a long list of distinguished scholars?
We are so fortunate to have wonderful teachers, counselors, staff members, but most importantly, our community, who send their students to school and entrust us with doing the work that is required to ensure students like David have those opportunities. So we are very fortunate as a community to just have everyone working together to ensure opportunities like David's is afforded to everyone.
And I noticed that you walk around a lot on campus, and you're making sure when you go into classrooms, you're looking at, how we're teaching, what we're teaching. And then do you have a one-on-one sometimes with certain students when you're seeing that they're going in one direction, and you can say, hey, how about this? Or do you want to do this? How do you work as a principal to add to the success of students like David?
So it's my goal to make sure that every experience that students have on campus is personable. That means that I'm not just your principal that you see, during awards, or I'm your principal during the time in which we're having an assembly, but I'm that person that you see outside doing supervision that you can walk up to and have a conversation with. When David came over to my office and I shared the experience that he was going to have here, he was just an average student who just showed a level of respect that you can see, like, wow, if every student, not only at Carter High School, but in our community exemplified, this world would just be such a great place. But he's the example, the epitome of every student that we want to see. You can see the love, the desire, the expectations that he set for himself and also his family as well.
And I'm glad you said that, Dr. McMillon, because of course you coming from Carter High School as an assistant principal, you are also at Preston Elementary School as a principal, and you are at Rialto Middle School as well. And so you have gone through this elementary and the secondary administrative roles. And through that roles, you've seen some of these students that you followed from elementary to high school, because I meet some of them saying, oh, she was my principal at Preston. She was my principal at Rialto Middle. So you're absolutely right. They're all of our students, and that level of success should be afforded to each of them. Yes. So, Mr. Wilson, when you have senior year, junior year, you start working with the scholars. Does David comes to you, does he tell you, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to go? How does David and students such as David end up at colleges and universities of their choices?
Yeah, that's a big question. So hopefully they come in and tell me exactly what they want to do, but that's usually it's a process that starts in 9th grade. So I mean we're doing 4-year plan and college conversations like right from the beginning.
Get-go, right.
Yeah, and so especially with our high achieving kids, we really do want them to shoot big and dream, because I think it's difficult for a lot of our kids to think about going to school out of state, let alone on the other side of the nation. So so it's about getting them to think about the world being really big. Did not have that problem with David even a little bit. I think David has been excited about not just going away, but going somewhere exciting and exotic, right from the beginning. So.
And let's get back to you, David. Brown University. Now, I have a cheat sheet here that Communications Media Services gives me. They interview ahead of time and just try to get some background information from you. So I got your number right here. And so it does say that you were accepted. This is very impressive. You were accepted at UC Santa Cruz, at San Diego State, UC Berkeley, UCLA, at Cal State University Dominguez Hills, Fullerton, Monterey Bay. What made you select Brown University?
Well, that's a very complicated question, actually. It really has to do with how the QuestBridge process works. Through QuestBridge, you basically select some more prestigious institutions that are partnered with the organization. Those are Ivy Leagues, mostly privates, if not all privates. So you create that list of schools. So
you have that Yale, the Harvard, the Brown University, okay?
Yeah, so I had created that list, and I guess there's a 2-step process, which is you apply basic questions, information about yourself, and then you find out if you're a semifinalist. I found out that I was a semifinalist. From there, I was required to create a list and then complete the rest of the application. The list, it's basically you choose the schools that they're your favorite partner schools, and then upon the time that the decisions come out for those schools, based on the list, the one that's on the top will be the one that is the one that you're binded to.
Okay.
So going into this process, I had to make sure every school on that list is a school that I'll be 100% completely fine to. I don't want to have to be binded to a school that I'll end up
Absolutely.
Yes.
What is your major?
My major is architecture.
Wow.
Yes.
And so why did you select that?
For the longest time, I've had an interest in art. Growing up, I would create, I started with creating cards for my family, birthday cards, Christmas cards, any opportunity, any little event, I would create a card for my family. And, growing up, I didn't have the most comfortable lifestyle, and I saw the stress that my parents, had gone through every day. And I guess in my head, I wanted to do something that would help them, and my way of doing that was creating designs of the house that would make things more efficient, or make things just better for them. Because hey, one less mess is better than nothing.
Well, what a noble person you are. That's a very kind-hearted way of looking out for your family. And you've done that by getting a full ride scholarship. You have eliminated a lot of burden that parents sometimes feel financially, and as mom and dads, we feel that. And it's an obligation that every mom and dad wants to fulfill. You kind of helped with that. So congratulations to you for that yes, absolutely. So I wanted to go back to Mr. Wilson, our counselor at Carter High School. What exactly, because he mentioned it, QuestBridge National College Match. What exactly is that?
Yeah, so David actually started talking about it a little bit. QuestBridge is the goal of QuestBridge is to find exceptional students with financial need. So they're not just looking for kids that are good. They really are looking for exceptional. So we have a handful of kids that will apply every year. It's been a while since we've actually had one matched to a school, so this is very exciting. But you can actually apply for QuestBridge as a junior. So that's the first program. The college match one is the senior one. The junior one is the college prep. Yes, college prep scholars. And we've had a bunch of students who've gotten into that as well. So very difficult program to get into, but if you do get accepted, it's awesome. I mean, everything that they do for students.
Excellent.
So,
good to know. Very good to know.
If I can just add to that, if you look at his transcript, even from middle school, straight A's.
Yep.
If you go back to his experience, he joined the Rialto Unified School District in 2nd grade. he was showing basically examples of his greatness as early as second grade.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school second grade?
When I had moved to Rialto, I at first attended Bemis for second and
Woohoo, Bobcats.
yes, second to third grade, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I transferred to Trapp Elementary.
Trap. Woohoo, Timberwolves. And then where?
And then from there, I went to Casera and then I went to Carter.
Coyotes, Coyote.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
wow, you are a alumni of the RUSD in
Yes, I am.
elementary, middle, and high school. Excellent. So I guess my next question for you would be for you, and I know that Dr. McMillon, you started at assistant principal at Carter High School, so you feel like you're at home again when you joined back in 2021. Some of the great things that are happening at Carter High School. Can you share a little bit of that for our families that are watching?
Definitely. Carter High School has a history of just doing great things. Our counselors, our career technicians were recently awarded and recognized for having the highest rate of students complete their FAFSA application. And that's not an easy task because you're asking parents to share their financial information with their students so we can ensure that, again, these applications are completed. And I saw basically parents coming in after hours, before school, during school, no matter what time they came in, our counselors and our career center technician was willing to stop. Let's go ahead and do this right now. And it's those small details that make the difference at a school like Carter High School, where people should feel welcome. And so not just, oh, this is a school and we work between the hours of, say, 7:30 to 4:30, but the idea that you called at this time, and if I'm sitting at my desk, I pick up the phone because you took the time to call. I answered the phone. And so those are some things that we're looking at. We're extending our hours in our libraries and things of that nature to make sure our students have access in all facets of the school site.
And yes, and uniquely, Carter High School does have the county library on the campus.
Yes.
That's wonderful. What an added plus for our students and our scholars to go visit the library on the campus.
Yes.
Excellent. Now, Mr. Wilson, been in Rialto Unified School District 24 years?
That's what your notes say.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't want to make this up. It's fact check. But you have been, I just want to talk about that because I know that a lot of great students have come to me through the years, valedictorians, salutatorians, the ones that are headed to Ivy League. Oh, Mr. Wilson's great. Mr. Wilson does this. Mr. Wilson does that. You were also speech and debate for a while. You were also all of it. So tell me, how does it feel when you have your scholars who are like, oh, he's the greatest ever?
Well,
fulfilling.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know that he's the greatest ever. I don't know that I'd camp on that, but it feels really good to see my students succeed. Absolutely. And we have a number of students every year that are exceptional. But yeah, David's special, and it really, I don't just say that like it's it has been 24 years. I don't remember all of them. I mean, right now my caseload is well over 400 students.
Yes.
And so obviously you're not going to remember everybody.
Absolutely.
But there's definitely those students that will leave a lasting impression who you will remember 10, 15 years down the road. And you hope come back and give to the community. And I get to see a lot of them do amazing things. So yeah, it feels really good.
Well, when you have your scholars who have become doctors, lawyers, teachers, preachers, and they remember the word of Mr. Wilson, that's a good feeling. So don't be too humble about it now.
Right.
Take it all in. David, who gives you your strength? Who's your role models?
To be honest, my parents have always, like I said before, I saw them struggling for a long time. You could say that maybe we still are struggling a little bit today, but I see how much they persist, how hard working they are, and it really inspires me. But besides that, I feel like that's such a basic answer. Oh, my parents inspire me, but
No, it's a great
also
answer.
there's like people like David Goggins, who he's a motivational speaker, and he's one of those people that really makes me question like the capabilities of the human mind. And that's a concept that I really love, like how the human potential, self-actualization, self-transcendence. And yeah, he's one of those people that really makes me like consider how much I should be considering how much I should be pushing myself every day, both as a scholar, how am I putting everything towards, my education? Am I putting everything towards being a better son, towards being a better person overall?
Wow, this is so great. Who's your favorite teacher?
I can't choose.
That's
I have
okay.
many.
That is totally okay. I put you on the spot. Shame on me. So I'm not even going to ask who's your favorite. Okay, so what about your subject? Is that good?
Yes, that is an
Okay.
easier question.
He's going to guide me. He's guiding me.
Trouble with that one.
This is an Ivy League major. I got to be very careful with my questions. Who is your favorite? What is your favorite subject?
If I'd have to choose a favorite subject, it'd definitely be art history, which, does tie into my major. Art history is one of those classes that really makes me see things in my everyday life, and I could like take a look at that thing and be like, oh, I learned that in class, and it's cool to make those connections. I love making those connections, being able to see something that you learn in class in the real world. That's one of those things that like makes me feel like satisfaction.
Excellent. Principal Dr. McMillon had a parent, Annabelle. One time she said, I walk into Carter High School and I feel so welcomed and I feel liked, and I look at the entire majestic the school, and it looks like a community college, a mini community college campus. When somebody walks into the doors of Wilmer Amina Carter High School, home of the Lions, how do you want them to feel?
Keyword, welcome. I want them to feel like they belong. Often I am told, your office is that way, but it's wherever the people are. And so if I have to go in the front and be the receptionist for a second, I'm in the front, being the receptionist. But service truly means that you are in service to everyone at any given time. And so that's a commitment to me, being where the action is, So I find myself every passing period being out in the quad. People often joke, you need to find McMillon, find her in the quad, or my desk is sitting outside, in the quad at one of those blue tables, because I want people to be able to find me and make sure that they can get access to me.
And I know you didn't want this to be mentioned, but I am going to mention it. Dr. Robin McMillon was nominated by a committee of the Rialto Democratic Club as an Administrator Educator of the Year. So congratulations recently for that award that you received.
Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, what is the most rewarding part of your job?
Ooh, that's hard. It's seeing kids succeed. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hearing from students 5-6 years after they graduate, like what kind of impressive things they're doing, and just knowing that
you had a hand in it, that you had a part in it.
Well, and that there's good things after high school, right? I mean, I don't know about you, but high school was not my favorite time of my life, and yet I've chosen to spend my life here because I know that there are things after high school that are a lot more exciting, and so it's cool to see our kids going on and doing amazing things.
David, how would you describe yourself in one word?
Resilient.
Ooh.
Yes, I feel like, there have been many challenges in my life, but I love that uncomfort. There's a beauty behind being uncomfortable and like being outside of your comfort zone. And I love that any challenge or any failure that I've had, I've been able to look at it and see it as, fuel to keep going. And if anything, try harder.
You sound like a very profoundly prolific person. And so the last question I want to leave with you, those who are watching the podcast right now, David Luviano, who is headed on a full ride scholarship to Brown University, which is an Ivy League university in the East Coast. If you can give any one of the future scholars, not only at Carter High School, Rialto Unified School District, whomever is watching, what would you tell that student how to succeed?
Never doubt your capabilities. You're capable of so much, and you really are your own limitation. You should not be limiting yourself at any moment. Even there's no shame in failure. There's no shame in feeling like you have to give up. But just know that you at some point you're gonna have to pick yourself up and use that failure, use the pain, use the hurting to push forward and find success, find your way to your calling.
Thank you so much. Wow, that is deep. I love it. So thank you so much. I wish you a lot of success. I will look forward to seeing Carter High School at the graduation ceremony in June. Thank you, Principal Dr. McMillon.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. David, good luck to you. We are proud of you at the Rialto Unified School District. Congratulations. And of course, Mr. Wilson, always good seeing you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And we want to thank you for being here on the Bridge Podcast. Until next time, I'm Saida Jaffrey.